Yo.
Oh, yeah, hello, hello.
Hello.
What is good? What is good? All right.
All right.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I get first thing. We'll just go right to the meat of it. The buffs and nerfs, mainly just the nerfs to Astral and Sung Jin Woo. So, so from my video, a lot of people were like kind of being like, "Dude, skill issue, right?" And Loki kind of was, a little bit, but
When I'm looking at it, the first thing I want to say is like partially it was like the raids were mainly meant to be an endgame thing.
right.
And so when I'm looking at it, like I'm using like full etherealization 6, like most of my units are kind of like at their peak form almost.
Mhm.
So it's meant to be definitely later game is what we were aiming for when we made that.
Yeah, and I think you guys did a good job with it being like end game content. And I also make this clear, I have nothing against like the quality of the game. I think the quality of the game is great, right? Just want to get that out of the way. Devs are doing a great job. No, I like that you guys take your time testing as well with the lack of it. But yeah, end game content wise, yeah, I understand that. It makes a lot of sense. I was just more so in the moment, kind of while I was streaming. I was just like, bro. It was kind of like an Anime Rangers X situation. It kind of felt like. Because Ace was really, really good with Astral. Probably too strong, honest to God. He really seemed like he was. And I understand why they nerfed him as hard. It just felt like Astral took too much of a hit. Mainly,
I want to talk about what Astral was, because the main thing with Astral was literally just a bug fix. What was happening with Astral was, if you look at units like Spade, people would only upgrade Spade twice because his first ability is a multi-hit. And from what I've been told, I'm pretty sure that multi-hit, that one attack, hit 19 times. That would apply DOT. That would apply DOT 19 times, and then that would reapply Astral 19 times. So when they made it only apply for the first hit, that's not necessarily nerf. I mean, it does nerf it, but it's mainly just a bug fix.
right.
Because it was not supposed to do that. It wasn't supposed to proc on multi-hits.
Yeah, I think that was. I think they should have probably worded that better in the information than if it was, instead of calling it a nerf, because that made it seem like people like it kind of gives people a bad taste in their mouth. They're like, well, you're gonna nerf this trait and you're gonna change things about it, but people who were already rolling off ruler or something for it, they don't get no rerolls back. So that's why I was like, probably would have been better just to call it a bug fix since that was the case.
Yeah, one of the main things that a lot of us have had a problem about is the informational, and we hope that like next time they work with testers a little bit more, because there was a ton in the informational that's just flat out wrong. There's a lot of stuff that's just not in the game that they mentioned, stuff that's different, and it's kind of like put in a bad way. It kind of like gives you all the new stuff, and then it gives you the nerfs, and it's like, oh, here's the slap in the face nerfs, and then it says, hey, buy our bundles.
Yeah,
so we're hoping like next time.
When I was watching that, I was like, dude, we literally took Dragon Ball Legends a little bit too literally here. We just for like 5 extra minutes on spending money on the game. Yeah.
Every tester was in a call, and we were like, no, this is so bad. And it's especially because a lot in it was just like flat out wrong. Like the etherealization converter for secret units, in the video it showed 5,000 gems, when in reality it's 50,000.
Yeah.
Which is just a massive thing.
Yeah, and that was, dude, people are still mad about that. I mean, I don't really...
we're still upset about that.
Yeah, I don't care too much about it, because I already know I'm probably not even going to waste my gems on that because of how bad my luck is with the banner itself. I mean, dude, I went like 50k in, couldn't even pull one Ukiura on the day the update dropped.
Yeah.
So I just have really bad luck with that. I didn't really even experiment with it. But yeah, a lot of people were complaining about that too. But dude, the information was cool. I thought it was cool, but I don't know. It's just the Sung Jin Woo, dude, literally same like hour after I saw that come out, there was that one video. I don't even know if it really did well or not, but it had like 700 views last time I saw it. It was like, devs are destroying the game or something. It was like because of the Sung Jin Woo nerf. I'd have to find it, but this dude was just going on like this huge 8 to 10 minute rant, just like, dude, they're gonna start nerfing stuff constantly. It's gonna ruin the game. And I mean, in hindsight, the Sung Jin Woo nerf was like what, 10% to the HP of the summons or something. It was just 10%.
Yeah, the main part of the nerf is actually towards Etherealization 6. So, Etherealization 6, if you didn't know, it basically halved the mana cooldown. Or, no, the mana cost,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
So you could basically place him, he would have his starting mana, and then you could almost instantly pop Shadow Legion. And then the health also scaled up a ton. So, like, the main part of that nerf, like, if you look at the actual nerf that it says in the informational, which I believe should be correct. It says it nerfs Shadow Soldiers cooldown from 50, or Shadow Soldiers HP, sorry, from 50% to 40%,
Right.
which is the only nerf that was actually to like non-etherealization 6.
Right.
So the main part was just to E6, and right after when I hopped in with my friend with etherealization 0, Ruler Jinu, it was able to do over 1,000,000 damage to Ichigo, the boss.
Oh, damn.
Which it's still really strong. It's
Right.
mostly just to stop like spamming it on Etherealization 6.
Okay, I gotcha.
Which
All right.
like I wish they would have phrased that better in the informational.
Yeah, I think
There's-
I think the information was low key a little bit of a fumble, just because calling it a nerf is going to instantly piss people off, no matter if it's big or small, right? Because, you know, me too. When I read that, I was like, bro, why are they nerfing him? And then you really look at it, it's just a 10% decrease. It's not that much. I think if they said more of a rebalance would have hit a little bit at, like, it wouldn't hit as hard, you know, especially because a lot of people that play this game are probably, like, younger. I mean, people are just going to look, nerf, oh my god, he's terrible now, you know? They're not going to really have the reading comprehension to just actually take a look at it and realize what it actually does. No, like, shame towards, like, younger audiences or anything like that, but it's just how I saw a lot of people reacting like that, right? But, I mean, dude, I didn't get Jinwoo until, like, the other night, so I didn't really have a chance to even test him, nor I don't even have him evolved yet, just because I've had so much other stuff to do, like, game-wise. But my main complaint with this update wasn't really the nerfs. I know it was, like, that was a talking point I had in my video, but now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't really matter too much to me. I do want, like, I would like for the traits to be a little bit more balanced. Like, because right now,
Yeah.
to me, it seems like Ruler just dominates completely. It's best on every
Yeah,
unit.
that's something
Go ahead.
that's something a lot of us have talked about. Like, one of the things that we liked about Astral before, even though it was really strong, is that on a lot of units you would use Astral, and Astral would be the one. And like with that had to get nerfed because obviously it was really bugged. But what we're working on, and especially with creating units, like newer units, when we're looking at Ichigo, like Ichigo is meant to be a crit unit, so things like that where you're not like you can run Ruler, but what we want is like you're gonna build him a certain way. So
yeah, it's
what we're
gonna
kind
be
of hoping
like
is that like
Kirito, where you want duelists.
yeah, we're trying to get good ones like with Ichigo, where we're trying to say like, oh, you should get duelist because of crits and stuff, because Ichigo's a crit unit and he gets a lot stronger with that. We like really want more things like that, so there's a lot more variety with Ruler, like instead of just using Ruler every time.
Right. And I dude, I really like that approach.
That's one thing that we've been trying to suggest and figure out.
Yeah, I think that's good.
It's just hard to figure out from like this standpoint because obviously Ruler is in most games, right? Most of the
it's all the
anime
point ones,
defense
yeah,
genre,
one placement,
from what I've
huge
seen.
damage.
Yeah, and I think that's okay, but I definitely wish that more of them were balanced out. And what I hope in the future is that like when I'm working with devs and stuff and balancers, I want to try to make sure that we like balance out more units to do different things, and I'll probably talk to them a lot more about like balancing traits more so that they matter to a bigger extent,
Yeah.
and so that you have like more variety instead of just Ruler.
Yeah, but dude, I think this is my idea personally. This is what I think a lot of games should do more of. I think rather than focusing on changing and balancing the traits so that they're good in every bit of content, I think the content and the difficulty of the stages themselves should be specific towards certain units. So, for example, Ichigo, as you said, he was built to be a crit unit, so you'd use Duelist on him, obviously, to get higher crit rate, higher crit damage. But most of the game, it doesn't really matter if you're critting or not, because if you just brute force with higher numbers, it's eventually going to get through, as long as you have like a Kenpachi or I guess Grimmjow now to go through the armor. I think what the game should focus on more now is trying to format the stages so that like you need crit units to beat this boss, or like deal extra damage to this boss, or remove shield from this boss, or something of that matter, or you need DOT units to attack this boss, or something akin to that, so that it's not just completely about traits, because obviously there's always going to be one overpowering, overwhelming trait that's going to be better than everything. There's really no way you can undo that, especially with the trait system as it is in like every tower defense game. But if you change the content to fit around how the traits work and how they buff units, I think that's just an easier approach, and it's also going to last longer, because eventually DOT traits will not matter if the game just continues in buffing HP and just like getting to a point where like, okay, the bosses just stun your units. They're going to stun your units, they're going to debuff them, but guess what? I'm going to have 0.1% ruler. The numbers are going to be high enough so the debuff percent is just going to be like minute in comparison to what I'm actually already doing, right? So I think not only would that kind of lean more so into the strategy of tower defense games in general, which is another thing. A lot of tower defense games now are just pure brute force. There's no real strategy. I think this game has the opportunity to do that. They already have it with the shield units like the Dragon and the Ragna stage. You basically need Kenpachi for that. And a lot of people complain, oh, you need Kenpachi with ruler. No, you don't. You just use Eternal. I have ruler on them because I got lucky enough to get it after like 1,000 rolls. But Eternal works just fine enough, and that's okay. You don't need to always have 0.1% for it. It's just the fact that you need that specific unit. That's what matters, you know? And I think that's just a better approach rather than making it mainly trait focused. More so just move the content around to fit how the traits already work, and as well as how the units are built, you know?
That's definitely something I want, like, personally, and a few of us testers have talked about it, is just like exactly that, just making more variety for like traits and just making them like more meaningful instead of just ruler on every unit, because it makes it a lot more interesting if there's a lot more strategy. And that's something that like UTD is definitely trying to look at a lot more, especially as we look at like relics with set buffs and tag buffs when you match it with a unit. Right. Things like that. We're just trying to like max the different like paths you can go, the different things you can do, the different ways you can build your units. And I think that making traits like match units a little bit better instead of just going ruler will make that a lot more enjoyable and better as a whole.
Especially because a lot of players are going to be more focused on the traits than they are the relics themselves that they're putting on. Because a lot of people are going to look, they're going to look straight at, okay, let's see your unit and your hotbar. What trait do they have? They don't have the best trait, they're trash. You know? That's how, especially even as a YouTuber, that's how a lot of viewers are going to look at it as, oh, you don't have all rulers? What are you doing? Go spend money, go get more rerolls or something like that. When, obviously, at that point, you're just, okay, for example, for Ace on Update 1, if you had ruler on him, it was marginally worse than having Astral. But it looks better on a YouTube video to have ruler, because, you know, that's just already built into the player base. You need the 0.1, you need the 0.1. So I think this game can change that, you know? It can take advantage of the position it's in, especially with how unique it already is. I mean, Virtual Realm I thought was really, like, a really, really good idea, and I like it a lot. I think they should do more with it, you know? Or at least take concepts from it and kind of build that into what's already going to be added in further content of the game. Because right now, I don't think the raids are fun at all. I'm gonna keep it real, 100%. Even on my stream, I said this a lot. I think it was just boring, honestly. Like, the concept is cool, you know, having the bosses debuff you a little bit or have different strats to them, but a lot of it still came down to you place Kenpachi, Jinwoo, Ragna, or Ace, and then like a knockback unit, and then you're good to go. That's literally what it still ended up boiling down to. And it got boring after the 50th run, you know? And I was coming up with this idea. I was thinking, obviously, you know, I'm not a tester, so I don't know what goes down behind the scenes, but I think it's just better, it would be better overall for the game if there was one overarching difficulty that was insanely hard. Like, it would take you need at least like 2 or 3 people in your lobby to do it, so it's not just soloable. And I'm not talking like ASTDX route where it's going to be annoying or something like that, but you have like your basic difficulties where you can get the unit, and then there's the overarching difficulty that you only have to do like 15 or so times, and then that, after you beat it 15 times, you can have it automatically go in the background, like how they already have the AFK world to function, but as you know, instead of just going off of, oh, you beat it in 5 minutes, it's going to go 5 minutes, just have it double or like triple the time, so it takes 10 to 15. That way, it keeps the players interested, and it makes it difficult for them, while also not making it just a complete boring grind the entire way through, where they have to sit down and manually go through 100 runs, or eventually figure out how to like force through into a macro so that runs overnight, and then it's not as fun, you know? I feel like that way that you keep players engaged for the first like day that the update's out, and then everybody, including mobile players, can easily just AFK the event, because no matter what, it's a tower defense game. People are going to figure out how to macro it. So you might as well be nicer to the players and just feed it into them, and just be like, okay, do the hard content that we worked on, do it a couple times, prove that you're worthy of being strong enough to macro this event, and you're not just cheating in it, and then you're good to go, right? And then obviously you'd keep the regular difficulties for the solo players or the people that want to just manually go in and macro but make it take longer. I just think that would be a better approach to the raid formula, rather than you go in, bam, flashbang on your screen, you have 100 pity, good luck, waste another 5 hours of your day, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the problem is with the tower defense genre in general, like, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over. I mean, that's like, it's almost the same. Like when I go to play like Tower Defense Simulator, which is one of the main games I played, it's kind of just the same thing where it's over and over. Mm-hmm. So I do agree that there should be a lot like more, and I don't like how it has gone to just macros. I think that's a little silly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the genre, and we are wanting to like fix it and change that, of course. But it's just hard to come up with different things where it's like, the genre is kind of like really limited to this type of thing where it's easy for people to macro it.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, I think Oh, go ahead.
A few people have suggested features like auto upgrade. Like there are different features, especially in other games, like where it would just play it for you, and I think that's interesting, and that makes it like easier to do, so you don't have to like sit there and do all the boring stuff the whole time. Mm-hmm. But also then at that point you're just not playing the game, right? It's not fun to just like have your phone just sitting there next to you as you're doing something else, which is what like I want to lead away from, but we still need to come up with ideas to bring that type of variation. And then what you said with boss stunning, actually most bosses were meant to stun, they were just bugged on release, so they didn't.
Okay, I gotcha. But yeah, I mean, I understand about the auto upgrade thing. If you want my opinion, I don't think you should add it. I think it's just going to have the game Peter Griffin style insist upon itself, right? You're just going to eventually cave in. We have to now, I guess, the players want it, so we're just going to follow the formula, and then you're just going to end up like every other tower defense game at that point. Sure, it'll be higher quality, it'll have some of its differences, but it basically just comes down to you place and you auto upgrade. Now, you can add auto upgrade, but that's only if you really give the players something to do while their units are fighting. So, like, for example, in like the Ukiura event, maybe have it so that there was like, you need to go help Orihime, or you need to go you just have the player physically do something in tandem with the auto upgrade feature, because it allows them to stay engaged rather than just sitting around and doing nothing, because all that's going to do, the moment you add auto upgrade, every macro is going to be place here, 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 open up your unit manager, press these 3 buttons, you're done. And that is the most boring thing in the world. Now, I like tower defense games, obviously, because I make videos on them, but I'm really tired of that formula. The only reason I can even stomach Anime Last Stand, for example, is just because it moves fast. That's it. If the stages didn't have 3 times speed, I would have never touched that game, because it would have been just the most boring, blatant experience. You literally place down your units, you put auto on everything, and then you go do literally anything else, right? And that's not a video game at that point, and it's just not entertainment. All you're doing is you're just playing something to get to eventually come back, look at that, oh, I got this dopamine rush, whoa, I pulled the 0.1% trait, wow. You go test them out, and then as you're testing them, you're out, you know, your brain slowly smooths back over, and you're like, what am I doing? I just got this unit, and it does more damage than the previous unit I had, and that's it. There's no, like, wow factor to it, right? And I really want you guys to try and, like, stray away from that, right? I think that would be great. It's going to be hard, obviously, but you guys have the foundation there. As I said, Virtual Realm is a good example of this. Even if it's as simple as just players choosing different ways to upgrade their units throughout the match, or like just give them different debuffs and they have to work around them, or the different buffs and they have to play a certain way to get the most out of those buffs, I think that's great, and it needs to stay that way. Something similar to that, something that keeps it unique, rather than just in the raid mode, you go in, you get the tokens, you come out, you get whatever the Evo items are, and then you go for the pity on the secret unit. You know, like every game does that. You know, there's nothing special about that. I was really, like, the update came out great, like, quality-wise, but entertainment-wise, it just didn't, there was nothing special to it, you know? And there's now this kind of expectation, and I know it's hard to live up to expectations a lot of the time in these games because eventually they get too large, but Universal Tower Defense kind of has an expectation now. What is it going to do that's unique, you know? Because right now, your main competitor for the game is Anime Vanguards. Obviously, it's the big kahuna. That thing is like top dog, right? And the second that game updates, if you guys can't match what they do, or at least put a different spin on things, you're just gonna end up like Anime Crusaders and just kind of play second fiddle, right? You guys have the opportunity, so you know, try and figure things out. Ask more from the community. Don't like immediately take the advice of you need to go and add blah blah blah, make it turn into Anime Rangers X or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of different things we can do. The problem is just like we need like different ideas that work. We need things that like are okay, and we need things that'll entertain people, but also like going against things that are like against the genre and fit out against it a lot are not going to be great because people play it because it's a tower defense game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we like add something like while you're playing, for example, that's like doesn't necessarily fit with that, people aren't going to like it as much. Like if you have to do something like while your towers are attacking, I don't know if people are going to like that. So what I've been trying to do recently is just get more community feedback. Like I've been active in the Discord, active with like question helpers, trying to like gather all their feedback just to see like what different things we can add to keep them like interested, keep things like new and different. Like what we want is like more game modes and interesting things for people to do instead of just a normal like tower defense, just like everything else. But it still has to fit into the genre, which is where it gets a little hard trying to find something that fits that perfectly.
Well, I mean, dude, you could always just take it straight to the units themselves, right? So, like, for example of what I mean by that, right? So let's take Ichigo. We'll just use him as a base plate, right? What could have been, I think, a really good idea for the Ichigo secret unit, you could make it more unique so he's kind of like a conditional transforming unit, you know what I mean? So like he's got like a bar that's got to fill up, or he's got to get a certain amount of kills, or he's got to do a certain amount of damage, and then he can move up in his forms, or like if you hit certain conditions, so that way the player has to kind of stay a little bit more engaged, pay attention to the units themselves. Or like old ASTD had this like they basically took the Dokkan Battle standby system, you know, something like that, to keep the units a little bit more unique. That way you don't have to focus every update, okay, we need a new game mode. Maybe just have it so the units are also more interactable, rather than go with like what I was saying about something the player has to do. That way it's mainly just you focus on the units, you keep the whole tower defense thing, right?
Yeah, have you gotten all the units in the new update?
In the new update? No, I'm still working on Haribel and Neliel is who I got left to do.
Yeah, because I was about to mention one of the things that is in this update, both Neliel and Harabel change forms.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like we're trying to add more diversity. You can see with those two units specifically, like they change forms to do something different, right? Neliel goes from a unit that buffs Ichigo and allies, and then she goes into a damage unit, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
we're trying to do more things like that
Yeah,
with units.
that completely slipped mine because Grimjow does that too, doesn't he? He does the transformation thing.
I haven't used him too much.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I know
That's
he
what
does
showed in
some
the
stuff.
information. I don't
Yeah.
remember, but yeah, that's good. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Like I feel like that's something you guys should do more with as well. You know, have like instead of just active abilities where it's like you press them and then you can put them on auto. You know, just make it have like kind of decisions like do you over Heaven and Anime Vanguards. You know, you kind of have to. He's like a unit you kind of have to pay attention to because.
Yeah.
Dang, excuse me. Sorry about that. No, like, you know, it's a unit you have to strategize with. You have to figure out, okay, do I want to put Rupture? Do I want to use Bubble? Do I want to slow, stun, freeze? Do I want to do more damage? Just have constant DOT DPS. You know, I think that'll be good for the game as well. You know, put your own spin on it, obviously. But, dude, I mean, gacha games, this is going to sound goofy, but gacha games do have good kind of unique mechanic ideas that you could always kind of interpret into these new units, you know.
Yeah. That's when I'm working with them more on like new units for updates, what I'm hoping is that we can get more of a variety like that. Like a few of the units so far have that. I just want more of them to have that so we get like that variety like you said. Like we're kind of like watching over the unit and like making different decisions. And then I'm hoping we can kind of incorporate like different things in stages, kind of like Virtual Realm, where there's those like natural changes where you have to pick a card and it affects you, so you might play different, and then tie that in with like bosses doing different things and working different ways, and then using that as well with units of how like they have different forms, and then you like look over them and choose something based off of like everything else that's going on. I think that'd make it a lot more interesting, and not just a macro type thing, because you would have to pay attention a lot more.
I mean, dude, one good idea I can throw out there, right? So, uniqueness to units. You guys do like a JJK update. Let's say you have like a Megami, Sukuna, or Gojo, right? You could just have it so that one of their abilities or one of their passives is that under certain conditions they'll pop their domain, and that'll not only like it'll either debuff the enemies or can give like ally buffs, something similar to that, but it's like kind of like it'll stay for like 3 waves or something like that. Like Gojo's Infinity will stay for 3 waves, which will slow units that walk into it. Or Sukuna, he can pop his domain, and then over a certain area in his range, he's gonna have like a DOT effect get applied while they're walking through that range. Or like Megami, you pop his domain and it'll like multiply, like maybe you'll like one of your units every time they attack has a chance for a clone of them to appear, like how like he did it when he was fighting the Finger Bearer. Like a clone will appear and then it'll do an extra attack with him, but it's like a % chance for it to happen. You know, just something to keep the units kind of unique, but you can't stack domains, obviously. You know what I mean? Or you could even have it where like if Sukuna and if you have like a Maharaga, like I was about to say Maharaga. If you have like a Sukuna or a Gojo on your team and you pop both domains for them, their domains will clash, so the effects of each domain will just be halved, but they'll both be active. So you'll have the benefits of both, but both benefits will be weaker. You know, something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'll take that into consideration. Like things like that, I think are really good ideas. And I'll try to bring that up when we're like talking about next updates and stuff. When I'm talking to the owners, I'll bring up these suggestions, because I think that would make the game a lot more interesting, more diverse, and then more than like just a macro grind.
Yeah, because that's like, dude, a lot of these games, dude, they're just getting kind of bland, you know? ASTDX suffered from it. Well, I mean, ASTDX also just kind of suffered from the fact that it was too multiple player, like, heavy, and it was just also, like, it wants you to macro, but it makes it almost impossible to, and then when you actually have to physically grind for the units, it just feels like a slop fest, you know? Just boring upon boring upon boring. That's why I really like Anime World Tower Defense. Like, even though the game kind of has some crappy updates recently, and it updates only like once every 3 months, you know, the units are unique in their own ways. Like you guys could take inspiration from them with the Persona units. You know, you can revive, you can build up like a nuke, or like you have this trust bar you have to fill, or you have to do certain things to, and like kind of how you guys have the Lelouch quest. I think that's a really cool way of obtaining units. So you have to kind of go and do your own things, like you're doing a zombies Easter egg on Black Ops, you know. I think that's like really cool. You have to have certain things done in a certain stage. You have to go press and find hidden things around the map. That's really sick. Like OG, like old Blox Fruits did that. I remember watching this. This is huge nostalgia. Like 5 or 6 years ago, back when you had to go and find all those buttons randomly around the map to unlock the Shanks boss fight to get his sword or whatever.
Yeah,
that was really,
I've done that. Yeah,
that was really hype back in the day, because like not a lot of games had you like interested like that. They never had you go out and search for things on your own, or, you know, it's just cool, you know, stuff like that. Obviously something more complicated than just go finding buttons.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's that player interactivity, you know, and I think that's cool.
Yeah. I'll definitely think about that a bit in the future, because there's really good ideas, and I do like having different obtainments other than like just playing a stage or just buying something from the shop, which I think is good, like how we have it now, at least for like a release.
Yeah, dude.
But
for a release,
I think there needs to be more variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a lot more variety, and I'm hoping that we'll add more things similar to like obtaining the Lelouch, like you said, where there's some kind of quest that you have to do.
Yeah.
Although hopefully less painful.
Yeah, Lelouch was 5. The beginning of the Lelouch quest was cool, talking to the different NPCs and finding the chessboards. And then when you get to the point where you have to do like 5,000 placements or whatever it was, that was kind of stupid. I'll be real. That was low-key a little bit of a fumble right there at the end. That I was just kind of like, okay, now I'm just going to go make a macro in Infinite and just have it sell and replace the same units, you know? That's when it kind of like got a little bit dead. But just something to like, because, you know, you're always going to keep player engagement as long as your game is different and provides a new type of experience, right? As long as like a player can come in and immediately be like, okay, this game feels like nothing I've played before, or at least it feels different. It gives me a different spin. It's not like it's just going to be another Anime Adventures or another Anime Vanguards, you know? I mean, Anime Vanguards already has that huge unique feel with all the crazy units they drop, like Doomslayer, or like the new Brook where you literally play Guitar Hero. But you guys just got to kind of encapsulate that, right? And I think you guys already did on your first like release of the game. The etherealization, the new kind of unique passives to the units, the different types of traits, focusing more on DOTs as well. The relics, I think, is a really good point as well. Virtual Realm, I was really hyped for Virtual Realm. I thought that was really cool, you know? Kind of kept me on my toes when I was doing streams for that, you know? Just try to, you know, keep that energy, I think. And I think the game's going to do really, really good, honestly.
Yeah. That's what we're going for. I mean, we're trying to get a lot more of that, like, interesting, like, different stuff that's, like, something to do other than just tower defense, while still keeping it, like, tower defense enough to be tower defense.
Yeah, right. You don't want to turn it into, like, an arena fighter, or you don't want to turn it into, like, a whole completely different system, you know? You always got to hark back to the OG, place the units and stuff like that. It's just, you know, you got to work around it, give it that uniqueness. And if I was you guys, keep it as best as you can, unless it's like an anniversary or like a Halloween update. Try to keep it like relative to a series, you know, because that gives you, it allows you to keep like the same ideas with like JJK. It allows you to work in those domain systems, introduce them through that anime, and then you can start branching that out into other things, right? Like, right, so like if you already have like the domain thing, let's say that you guys add that. Then later on, if you do like a Dragon Ball Super update, have that with Broly where he breaks the dimension. If you have like a Gogeta on your team, and then it provides buffs, debuffs, something like that. And then players are going to be like, oh, you know, okay, I can see how this is working because they already did this with the JJK update. Okay, this kind of works. And then that allows you to release more units like that while also having kind of different things each update, you know?
Yeah.
Because it builds that fundamental. Like if you guys did a, let's say you did like a Naruto update, right? What you could do with the unit. Yeah, Harvey's sleeping, Ma. But like what you could have for like, let's say you do a Naruto update, right? Have it so that each unit has like, instead of they just have regular upgrades, their moves don't change, but just have it so that they either cycle through different moves, like they're cycling through different jutsu, or you can have them have like active abilities where they'll switch between different attacks. Like Naruto would have like his Rasengan, and then you could have like that'll have like a low cooldown, or then Rasengan Barrage for higher cooldown, or just something similar to that, you know? Just introduce a little bit of, doesn't have to be nothing game breaking and crazy, but just something a little bit unique every update. You know, a little bit of salt sprinkle in there, just to get something, you know, a little bit of kickback feeling to it.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can do that type of stuff. Obviously, I can't like say what's in new updates, and I don't know exactly what's in the future because I'm just a tester.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to know anyway. I want to be surprised by it.
Yeah. But I'm hoping we can work on those things, like take those types of ideas into account, and then work with that, try to make the best thing possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you got any questions for me, man? I mean, I've basically kind of run through my gauntlet with you a little bit. You got like anything you want to say about the video? Dude, if you got any hate for me, bro, go for it.
I mean, I don't have too much. I mean, just I'm glad I was able to clear things up about like the different things in the informational, like how we felt about it, and things like the actual nerf, those things. Just the way they were framed in the informational was just wrong, and we're hoping that we can do that better next time. Make the informational come out like better. Of course, make it seem less like we're just asking for money, and also like give the information in a better way to make people hyped, more excited, and then just have stuff like match reality.
Right.
That's like informational type stuff, and then like future updates. Definitely want to spice things up. I mean, what we did with raids is global queue, right? We tried to have that as like a harder thing that you would do with more people, and try to encourage not doing things solo, although a lot of people still do. But I like that I'm able to just easily queue with anyone. That type of thing is just,
yeah, that's good.
Trying to add some more variety and break just playing by yourself with a macro over and over.
Yeah, because it feels like I'm in like an insane asylum room some of these times, That's why I like it's like OG ASTD, you always basically had to play with like groups of people to kind of get through the stages and stuff like that, because I think traits also kind of like you get a 0.1% ruler, you can basically just solo the stage, right? I think that kind of killed that idea of doing it like with multiple people, but
yeah,
I like that you guys are trying to input that so that it brings more player activity, so it doesn't feel like everyone's just going in complete solo just to show off their units to nobody but themselves, Because like I remember back in the OG Anime Adventures days, it was always crazy for me to go in and see like, oh, this guy has like, dude, even though this guy has like ruler, we're still like monarch or whatever they had, unique is what it was. Like there's we're still struggling a little bit, or like it's just cool to see these stronger people than me who got lucky enough to get this stuff,
Yeah. I'm hoping that we do more things like more strategically based in the future. Like I used to play TDS a lot, and when we're thinking of like going to play something, there's really hard things where you have to think about it really strategically. You take all units into account and not just like ones that are normally considered good. So what I hope we can do is make things that get people to play together, get people to like strategize together. Is not just like easy, because right now I can just go in and then just use my units and do it pretty mindlessly and do pretty much anything with my current set of units. But what I hope we can do is have different things where you're gonna want to use different types of units, where you're gonna like build them in different ways just to like kind of match the boss or enemies or what you're fighting.
Yeah, or like
and then make the game more interesting.
Yeah, or like you'll need someone to come in that's like running a full DOT team while you have like a pure pure hyper armored breaking build, something
where
like
not
that,
everyone does the same thing.
Exactly. Give everyone make them feel like they have a unique role. Instead, so when they look at the scoreboard, they're like, okay, even though I did like 10 million less damage, I still really carried this match because I was supporting, like I was giving buffs, I was debuffing the enemies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Also, another quick thing, do you know that the Neji unit does give like 100% crit rate? do you know?
Yeah.
Do you guys know about that?
That's fixed. They just have to push the patch.
Okay.
There's a few things that are being patched right now.
Yeah, because
Uh,
there were people in my comments who were like,
yeah.
dude, bro, you're so ass at the game, bro. Just use Neji, dude. He gives 100% crit rate, and I'm like, dude, in his passive
Yeah.
it says 7%. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's getting immediately.
There's also a bug with the triples set bonus from the Shadow Reaper set, where it's supposed to increase your hyper armor damage. It's supposed to multiply it by 1.05, but right now it multiplies it by 0.05, so you do
Oh,
essentially no hyper armor damage with it. So yeah, there are a few bugs. There's a lot of things. Obviously, the team is not too huge.
right.
There's pretty much one person to do each thing, or like a few people to do each thing. So there are right now small bugs like
Yeah.
that where a person literally just typed a 0 instead of a 1, and then that's like breaking a set,
Yeah.
which things like that are going to be bugs, of course, with the game that doesn't have like an infinite developer team.
Yeah.
But we're trying to fix those things and catch all those things.
And dude, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just because they're like, dude, you guys are coming out with a functioning update. That is more than what a lot of tower defense games can say themselves. You guys don't use AI. You guys actually have workable updates where the game isn't too heavily impeded. It's just stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It's like the Neji thing. You place it down. Oh well, my units do 100% crit rate. That's 200% more damage. You know, constantly, right? You know, that's just the regular chill stuff. You know, it's nothing game breaking. It's just a little bit goofy. People are gonna abuse it for a little bit, but that's it. It's not gonna like piss off the players or they're like, okay, all of a sudden now the game is trash because the devs are like garbage, you know, and they're not. Full props to the devs, bro. They're all great. Coders, I was about to say coders and scripters, same people. Scripters, the modelers, animation people, all of them. Y'all are G's. Honest to God, dude, I could barely make a game myself, you know. So props, props. I'm not putting anything on the devs or like anything like that. Just, you know, add a couple more ideas. You know, that's just the overall really thing I have with the game. You know, because I really like the game. You know, I really do, especially when it came out. I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy not pulling Jinwoo as I watched all my friends pull 6 of them in like an hour while I'm sitting there and I have my 18th Kenpachi. You know, but you know, it's still fun. You know, I enjoy the game. It's just the raids were just like, you know. But overall, the game has a lot of potential, and I hope you guys go really far with it. You know.
Yeah, and just off of release, I'm one of the only testers that has experience with these owners. They're getting a lot better at like communicating with us, like making things work. Like they will be in our VCs. Like I VC with the owners of the game, Unrivaled, like almost every day, or like at least before a big update, I am just actively in the call with them. So they're doing a pretty good job of like being there and working with us, and just expect that to get better. Like communication between them, obviously reducing delays as much as possible. Some of that, at least this time, is just because of Christmas. Most devs went on LOA, just because Christmas, of course. Headless and Mid, Unrivaled and Unrivaled were working on Christmas Day in their call, but
you guys got to take breaks,
working on getting better.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to take.
They're
take
working
time
really
for your
hard.
family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they're trying to get better, improve in their own ways, because you know they're humans too, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
They are getting better though. Like what you see right now, they're actively improving on. They're getting better every day. Like each and every update is gonna get better in terms of like listening to players. Like as testers like myself, actually I just got promoted to lead tester.
Hey,
But
nice,
like
bro,
being
nice.
able to listen to more people, just like going in the Discord, just seeing, like asking my friends like, hey, do you have any suggestions, like that type of stuff. We're really trying to work on that, so like just the everyday player can kind of reach the owners a little bit more. That's what I'm trying to work on myself, so that like, you know, everyone's ideas can be heard a little bit, and just make the game like what people want to play and not just more slop.
Right, it's not just the same thing. Right.
Yeah.
And dude, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. It's great, bro. Just keep the communication, dude. That's what kills a lot of these games, bro. A lot of people just, they don't communicate. Wires get crossed, and then the update comes out like crap, you know. And that's all you guys got to do. You know, just keep it like it's like a family, bro. Like y'all are all working on the game together.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we're like your little like followers. You know, that's kind of what we are a little bit. You know, we're just kind of like, you know, we enjoy this, keep it going good, listen to us a little bit, take into consideration what we say, you know? And yeah, you know, that's great, bro. And dude, I don't want I'm gonna say this for my viewers too. Do not throw shade to the devs. Do not. You know, y'all heard it here. Do not. I know some of you guys are mad, like, oh, they nerfed this, who cares, bro? They're people. They're working hard, okay? It's chilling. I got a little bit heated. I apologize for that. I got a little bit heated on that. That was on me. I was tired as hell. But, you know, they're all human, bro. That's what it comes down to, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I appreciate you not trying to put too much on them.
Dude, no, that was never
to be fair, there is a lot that like the whole team in general, including testers, like all need to work on. We're all like getting better at everything. Like communication is one of the biggest things. Like I talked about, we're working on that a lot. That there's just a lot of things we're trying to improve on because this is the biggest game these developers have made. They've got a big team,
right,
but it's also not like a huge team.
Right.
They've got like enough people to do what they need to do, and so they're gonna be small issues. They're gonna be like those problems. They're gonna be like rough patches, but we're trying to improve on everything. Like
yeah, and I mean
getting all that perfect.
Yeah, you know, not every update's gonna come out perfect. There's always gonna be a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Right. But that's good. That's good that you guys are like, you know, pushing for it to be the best it can. That's what I like to hear. You know, I like seeing games. Like game developers use their potential and not be like the boss, Brandon the boss, you know, that actual scum who just completely abuses his devs for the most part, you know? I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
But, dude, it was great talking to you, man. I don't want to take any more of your time. You know?
Me too.
I mean, I appreciate you taking the, you know, hour. How long have we been talking about? Like an hour-ish?
An hour, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Giving light to the viewers, giving light to people that play the game is good. As is good communication, bro.
I appreciate you like making a video, like asking questions, making comments, like giving all your feedback. I appreciate that because at least to me, it helps like me make the game as good as possible because I talk to developers often. I can put like your ideas forward to them, so I appreciate you making that and giving me those ideas and like wanting to talk to me. That's
dude, I love talking to devs, bro. I like me before, dude. I was just like a just regular player, always wanting to give suggestions and stuff. But now that I'm kind of getting a little bit of a following, you know, I'm almost at 800 subs, which is pretty cool. But you know, I'm kind of slowly realizing I can actually talk to people now a little bit, like you, for example. You know, like people can reach out, or I can reach out to others and kind of give my input a little bit more.
Yeah.
Night, Mom.
I mean, like, I'm open to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I'm in the Discord. You can just DM me anytime you want. Like, DM me any suggestions, any bugs. Always open to that stuff. Of course, like suggestions. Trying my best to get those forward and get everyone's opinion. I appreciate anyone that like reaches out and stuff. And you know, I saw your video and I just wanted to talk about some stuff, and I think that's great. That like talking with people in general is just a lot better than no communication. I think it's really helpful and good.
Right. Am I like the only like content creator you've like you've seen like a video like that of, or like?
I don't watch too many of the like UTD videos. I watched a few, and then yours popped up, and I was like, oh, well, this is like not a YouTuber that's like getting like paid to do this.
Right.
It's not like a content creator. It's like it's someone like me. Like we're at basically the same amount of subscribers. It's kind of like that type of thing where you're just someone enjoying the game, and then I can see your feedback. So
yeah, like I'm not gonna glaze a game if it doesn't deserve the glaze.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go and play something like anime. Like in my Anime Vanguards video, a lot of people were like, "Dude, you're only level 60, bro. Why are you complaining about the game?" And I'm like, dude, literally they just dropped the same update that came out with Escanor and Gogeta and Kaguya, and no one said anything about it. They're just like, oh, dude, I'm gonna absorb this slop. Dude, it was the same update. It was the exact same thing. And like, I'm not just gonna be a YouTuber like just immediately go, dude, the game is great, the quality's amazing, oh my god, like I'm not gonna do that. You know, I don't want to just sit there and lie to myself like, dude, I had a fun time. I did. I did not have fun on like any of those updates, right? But I'm enjoying Universal Tower Defense. I am. You know, it's a game I was like, I'm drawn to. I want to keep playing it. Sure, like I'm a little bit like the raid thing kind of gets me a little bit tired sometimes, but it's still the overarching of the game is really fun. It's a lot more interesting. It kind of gives me like the OG ASTD vibes where it kind of feels fresh. It feels a little bit unique in its own way. Same with AWTD. It has its uniqueness to it that draws me to it, you know? Like I have a lot of people telling me, dude, go play Anime Crusaders, play some more Anime Vanguards. You know, it's just, the games just don't click with me as well because they're just the modern day upgraded version of the slot. You know, it's just same stuff, go in, macro, get your small drops, get a little bit of a hard on because you got the unit you wanted, and then you're done. You know, that's the update, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you guys are doing good, really. You know, even when if I do grow bigger, I'm gonna still stay the same way. I'm not gonna just automatically be like, okay, I'm gonna start glazing for views. Like I'm saying what I say. Like if the update's good, I make a video on it. I'm like, dude, think the update's good, keep it going. If the update has a little bit of problems, like I'll just make one talking about it, you know? Kind of just like whatever just pops into my head comes out, you know? It's true feelings and everything. Keeping it real, that's how I like it. That's how I personally see the best way to do it. Like that.
Yeah, I really appreciated that in your video, and as we're talking, just like being honest about what you feel and stuff is very, very helpful, especially when it comes to like making the game better in general. Just like being honest about it and being real about it are like the best ways we can approach it.
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna come in here and automatically switch up like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so, like, bro, just let me glaze me, just glaze me a little bit. Like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's stupid. That's like the most pathetic thing ever, bro. I hate when people do that. Like, instantly switch up.
Yeah.
I've kept my true opinion the whole way. Obviously, I'm a little bit more like, I'm not like, fuck, like, you know, I'm not like raging like I was in the Anime Fighters video I did. That one was bad, bro. It was like 9 in the morning and I was just screaming at that game. But yeah, anyway, if you got any things you want to say, dude, because I got basically, you know, everything I want to get out.
I don't have anything else.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, dude, I appreciate it. Thank you a bunch, you know, for taking the time to listen, taking in what I'm saying, reaching out. I'll reach out more too, you know, when I notice things and I say things, dude. I want to help out best I can, make the game feel better from the realest perspective I can get from a guy that's been playing tower defense games for, dude, since I was in like middle school, dude. Like I played OG BTD 1 and stuff like that, dude. Like I'm from the Stone Ages and stuff, bro. Like I was there when it was just flat up top scribble knots, like looking drawing, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, appreciate it, bro. But I'll let you be on your way.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
go
you for taking
do
the time
whatever
to
you gotta
talk to me.
do. Go play whatever, dude. You know, enjoy yourself, man.
All right, you too.
Have a good one,
thank
bro.
you. And just like let me know if you have any other like questions or suggestions or anything. Yeah,
dude, I'll shoot you some stuff your way. Don't worry about it, bro. Second, you know, even people from my own chat, you know, when they say stuff, if I think it's a good idea, like I'll put it out there, even if I think it's a little bit of kind of an iffy idea, put that towards you as well, you know. Just keep the community in mind, you know.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I'll be seeing you, bro.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you.
And thank you, bro.